Hello everybody and welcome to the video. Today we're going to be taking a look at Gina the TOA Dark Mystic Witch. Now I'm sure a lot of you guys have her sitting in the storage box, or you haven't built her, or you don't know how to build her, you don't know where she's being used, whatever the case may be. In this video, my plan is to help you build her, use her in the places that she's going to be used in, and all that stuff. And if you already have her built and you're just here to watch this, you're here for the ride, then by all means, I'd like to know how you've built your Gina in the comments, you know. Who knows, you may have a ground-breaking build, or just an awesome Gina. But regardless, what we're going to do is we're going to look through her skills. We're going to spend just a little tiny bit of time in the monster info. I want to start spending less time there. We're going to look at my build, and we'll use her in like a spot or two, where, you know, obviously where she shines in. And we'll call it a day. So first things first, let's talk about her stats. I think she has not amazing. She has pretty good base HP and base attack. Her defense is okay, and her speed is okay. For what you're going to be using her for, I would prefer that her speed and defense are really good, and then I don't even care about her attack. But whatever. She does have an arena lead that increases the resistance of ally monsters in the arena by 26%, which, you know, you could use her in the arena. I could definitely see it, and you'll see it too after we go through her skills. Her first skill is called Crow Summoning. She summons a crow to attack the enemy, inflicting continuous damage for one turn. For where you're going to be using her, this is a usable skill 1. You know, for me, like skill 1s, I think not everyone can have an OP skill 1. But like if you would have had something like removes a beneficial effect, I would have liked that more. But then that would have made her far more OP, wouldn't it? I mean, again, it's usable for where you're going to use her, though. That's all I'm going to say. And skilling it up does nothing, right? You don't need to. Skill 2 is called Toad Poison. It covers all enemies with poison to remove one beneficial effect, inflicts damage and prevents them from receiving beneficial effects for one turn every 3 turns, and there's no need to skill it up because all it does is increase the damage. Though you're going to see that for me, when I did skill her up, I got so unlucky that everything skilled up before her skill 3. So that was fun. But this is actually a really good skill 2. I do wish that the blocks beneficial effects thing lasted for more than one turn, but you're definitely going to get usage out of her, right? You're going to get usage out of that skill 2, because you think of like some of the places that you could potentially use her. You wouldn't use her in dragons, but you could technically get that AoE defense break, but you would or not defense break, AoE, sorry, I'm thinking of a different Mystic Witch, but you could benefit off that AoE strip, I guess, but you're really going to find usage out of this in like Steel Fortress or Punisher's Crypt, or heck, you could find usage out of this in like PvP, I guess. Like, that's what I was saying. Like, I don't know if I was saying this earlier, actually. That might have just been a passing dot, but you can use her in PvP. Yeah, you could use her in arena. I mean, for like stripping and all that. Plus blocking beneficial effects. This is going to be helpful for teams that really love to spam buffs. I mean, you could talk about units like, I mean, not Riley, because you're going to build your Riley to just proc turns. But like if you get like run into like a Wind Panda or a Chiwu or something like that, who just loves to play shields or immunity or counterattacks or something like that, it's like it could be good for that. Just for teams that are very buff heavy, I think it's just, you could use it there, but you're going to mainly take usage out of it in Steel Fortress, where, you know, you have to place beneficial flex blocks on the enemy. But another big thing is to strip off the defense break, or the defense buff and the shield, and I believe it has anti-crit if I'm correct. I forget already, but a pretty good skill 2. Could be better, but it is what it is. Skill 3 is called Thorny Bush Summoning. Attacks all enemies 4 times by summoning thorny bushes and inflicts continuous damage for 2 turns with a 60% chance each. The last attack additionally puts them to sleep for 1 turn with a 60% chance each, and then skilling this up will actually increase the harmful effect rate and the cooltime turn by 1. So this goes from every 5 turns to 4 turns. That is worth skilling up, especially, again, where you're going to use her. You want this up as fast as possible. But the skill 3, this is more or less good for Trial of Ascension. I mean, you could get usage out of this, I guess, in like PvP content, like in Siege or Arena, but not RTA. I don't think you're going to really be using her in RTA. You could, like, throw her on our Succubus team or something, maybe, but you're really going to get the most usage out of this, like in TOA. I mean, you get all the dots, multiple dots, and then a sleep, which, well, the sleep, you guys know how I feel about sleep. I don't necessarily like the sleep debuff too much because it can be easily removed by just attacking the enemy one more time. You at least get dots out of it, and you get AoE multi-hits. So, already, off the top, I'm going to just say that we're going to be using her in Steel Fortress and TOA. We're going to see what she could do over there. Her builds should be in the beginning, and you might use this forever, because you're not going to... I just don't see in too many cases that you're bringing her into like content specific, like guild content specifically. You're going to use her more PvE, but she is a really good PvE unit. You're going to build her on Despair Energy or Despair Focus. I don't think you go Despair Fight, because I mean, you could, I guess, for the sake of Steel Fortress, you could go Steel Accuracy or Despair Accuracy, but you're going to go Despair on her in the beginning to get that chance, that extra chance to put some type of crowd control on the enemy, like the stun. Could go Swift, I guess, for speed, but you're not going to really need it too much. I think you go Despair for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if people went Violent. You go Speed, HP, HP, Speed, HP, Defense, or Speed, HP, Accuracy, and then make up the rest of the stats in the substats. But let's not waste too much time. Let's get into the monster info. First comment is called Best, or is from Nino. Best Gina, 100% resistance, 100% accuracy, maybe a little bit more speed, plus 144 speed, and she is perfect. I'm assuming perfect. Push it to the Best Gina infos. Wow. Yeah, this is a pretty good Gina. Focus Violent. I wonder why you went Violent. I guess you did this for PvP, like guild content, because it's just like, I'd go Despair. If you're using her specifically TOA, I would have gone Despair. But additional damage by whatever damage dealt on wind, huh? And then, are you using her in additional damage on wind? Are you using her in the spiritual realm? Anyway, skill 3 accuracy, that's good. Additional damage by whatever crit damage taken. You just need accuracy on her skills and then reduce the damage taken. I think that's all you need to worry about. But yeah, speed, HP, accuracy. You made up for missing substats in the, or you made up for missing stats in the substats, which is good. I like this. You didn't skill her up though, so almost the best Gina. But how about you skill her up? Like if you're tired of these empty promises, blah 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 blah. And then Nino again, 100% crit and 100% accuracy. I wonder if it's the same build. Yep. Dude, you have so many freaking of the same things. Trump 2024. Okay. Gina, great for dot team. Use mine for build. Mallory. Despair Focus. Hell yeah, Mallory. Get those blue runs off. But speed, HP. Dude, you have so much crit. This one has crit rate. You could switch this out. At least re-app this. You could re-app this, because it's a legendary run, I guess. This one you can find it. I know you can farm a little bit more. Come on, Mallory. At least take out the crit rate and put in like speed, right? Okay. This one, take out. You just threw what you could on her. I don't think you really cared what the substats really had. So yours is not even too fast. It's accurate enough. You did skill her up, which I'll give you credit for. Defense is whatever. HP is pretty decent. Blue artifacts, which is it is what it is. Yeah, let's go to the usage. So obviously Steel Fortress Abyss. Yeah, I mean, pretty decent team up in the top. And here's the thing, if you look at this team, they have Zinc as well. I mentioned this in the Steel Fortress team. I think I even mentioned, or the Steel Fortress video, or the Punisher script video, whatever one. The more you have of a unit that does something, it's like the better your chances of succeeding are, in my opinion. So it's like, if you only have like on your entire team one instance to like defense breaking is going to be your issue. If you're ever wondering, okay, I have this team that's supposed to be fast, but it's not fast, why isn't it? It's because probably it's like your chances to defense break are causing you to fail more, right? It's like you don't have defense break up as much as you should. Find another unit, right? which is like, I don't know, I don't want to go too deep into this. We're not going to go too deep into this because I'll talk forever. But it's like you have beneficial effects block here, all of his skills. On her, she has a strip, and I don't think you don't beneficial effects block. Yeah, no, okay. But it's like he has 3 instances of beneficial effects block, so I can assume his runs are easily around a minute, if not less than that. The Dark Vampire, I don't know. Beneficial effects block, yeah. And then you're like Bernadette, right? Bernadette's based off of you. But yeah, so Steel Fortress. And then TOA. And then Punisher's Crypt. I guess I could see her in Punisher's Crypt. I mean, that's a dot team, though. But I could see her in Punisher's Crypt for the sake of beneficial effects block. And then dots to kill the crystals faster. Which is not a bad idea, I guess. But Veramos on your Punisher's Crypt team isn't too wise because of attack bar reduction. But, yeah, let's look at statistics. Despair, Swift, Violent, Despair. So you could tell Despair is pretty dominant here for a good reason. You go speed, HP or defense, and then HP or accuracy or defense. Obviously, the main thing is going to be HP. Sub-properties, additional damage, I don't care about that. Damage taken, reduced is good on her. Crit damage taken, reduced. And then skill 3 accuracy, skill 2 accuracy are what you want on him. Skill 1 accuracy is also okay. Crit damage taken is good. Yeah, I mean, I'm not disappointed this time, believe it or not. So, let's take a look at mine. Now, of course, like I said, I have fully skilled her. All of them went into these 2 skills before I got to skill this up. So, it took a little bit of time, but she's skilled up. She's ready. I have 103 bonus speed, 419 bonus defense, 21,000 bonus HP, 79% resistance, which is pretty good, and 65% accuracy. Her runes are obviously Despair Focus to help with that. I look at the monster info, and sometimes you guys make me feel real good about my build. Do I have any crit on any of these? Nah, see, it's like I make sure my substats are about as good as my main stats, and that's probably why it takes me forever to get videos out. Anyways, you see attack and defense up effects are increased. Additional damage by defense I don't care about. Damage taken from fire is reduced. Damage taken from dark is reduced. Over here, you get attack and defense up effect is up again. Skill 3 accuracy is there. Crit damage is whatever. Speed up effect is whatever. But, yeah, I mean, pretty good. To think, if I took this attack artifact off, she'd be at 160 bonus attack. I would like to, oh, dude, she would literally have only attack from the slot 1 rune. Anyways, we're going to use her in Steel Fortress first, and then in TOA. So, let's not waste so much time. Let's get to the dungeon. Okay, so here we are in Steel Fortress Abyss Hard. Before I explain the team, let me talk about what the boss does so you can understand Gina better and probably the team better. There's going to be a lot to look at when you first try to look at this boss, but the 2 biggest things I want you to look at are his 2 passives. His first passive is every time the enemy's 5th turn ends, which means an entire rotation, he drops Thunderbolts on a random enemy to potentially stun them. The stun can be pretty devastating because it's just like you can get 1 unit that gets permanently stunned, which is not good because I think everyone in this team is important. But on top of that, he can attack up to 4 times depending on his attack power, which you want attack breaks, which we have. And the attacks won't land as glancing hits. So he can attack up to 4 times, dealing pretty decent damage. And he recovers his HP by 10% every time he uses it. Every time the Thunderbolt hits. So he can heal up to 40%, depending if he just has the absolute best conditions, right? So you want units to have Disturb HP recovery. Lauren has that, so I think Lauren's a really good unit. But the big thing about him is his Steel Will passive. So he increases his attack power and crit rate for 1 turn whenever he gets a turn, which his crystals will push him to get turns. This can be bad. You do not want him to get it because obviously the attack buff is going to allow him to use his Thunderbolt passive at its maximum, and then the crit rate you're gonna get hit hard. So you want to prevent him from getting beneficial effects, which is why you bring Gina, Lauren, and Zinc or whatever units like that. But that's not the only reason you want to bring beneficial effects blocks and all that, because I mean you could technically just strip with if all you did was read that first part. But the big thing is he gets himself a shield based off of 10% of his max HP and defense, and he gets a defense buff for 1 turn whenever he's attacked. So it's not just enough to bring Lauren, because Lauren, what will happen is she'll strip and then the boss immediately gains it right back. So you can't just bring a strip. You have to block the beneficial effects of the enemy and then remove the beneficial effects. Otherwise, you'll just be there forever. The boss will permanently heal itself, and eventually he'll take you down, I believe. On top of that, which is crazy, he gains damage reduction based off of beneficial effects. He gains 20% damage reduction per beneficial effect. So at its absolute best, he gains 80% damage reduction. So at this boss's peak, he's attacking you 4 times, healing 10% off of every time he attacks you with that Thunderbolt passive, hitting you with a crit almost every time, enhanced damage because of that attack buff, shield, defense buff, and 80% damage reduction. It's just like, you are not killing this guy if you do not prepare properly. So you want Gina for the purpose of her skill 2, right? And in a way, she's much better than just her skill 2. But her skill 2 is the big part. AoE strip, blocks beneficial effects. But you can find usage out of this skill 3, which I'll talk about in a little bit. Obviously Fran is here. My Fran is okay. Attack buff, healing, attack break, and then again healing. But Zinc, he has blocks beneficial effects on all of his things. He slows here, defense breaks here, attack break here. Very helpful. Lauren has the defense break, attack bar reduction, slows, disturb HP recovery, which is what we need. Crow's here for the big damage. But yeah. So speaking of her skill 3, her skill 2 and her skill 3 obviously are going to be really good for wave control. But I want you to think kind of like a little bit more ahead, right? Not that you will need it if you build a good enough team. But technically, her skill 3 could help with destroying the little towers. Like, do you see the little things on the side? Those things, she could place dots on them. And if you were to bring like a unit, instead of like Crow, you could bring like Sath. You could take out the towers before they ever really become too much of a problem. But I don't know. Just me. Now, by the way, instead of Fran, you can bring Iragar. And Iragar has an attack break, he has a slow, and he has a beneficial effects block, as well as the vampiric effect. The issue with Iragar is sometimes his AI is bad, and the AI can mess you up. So boom, we have that. Am I just not... I have not been paying attention to the quest line. So you see, even with Crow's third skill, he did Scar and he didn't do anything. So we're sadly going to suffer because of that. Can we not place beneficial effects block? Seriously? There we go. Seriously. Okay, Fran healed herself. That wasn't good looking. That wasn't good looking at all. Come on, save this. We should have brought Veramos. Veramos would have been better, at the very least. We could bring Veramos on a different run. But you see, she's placing dots on the crystals or the tower, so eventually they'll kill themselves. And we won't have to worry about them boosting turns and slowing us or defense breaking us, whatever it be. Ooh. Oh my god. And with Veramos, we would have cleansed this slow by now. But look at the tower. We haven't even been aiming for the tower, and the tower's about dead. Oh, yeah, see? So now there's less for us to worry about. Yeah, we need to bring Veramos. We need to do another run with Veramos. I think Veramos would be better. See, this is what happens when I re-rune my units. I forget that some units were built like a little bit tankier on purpose. We beat that. That was like 3 minutes long. Gosh. Yeah, look at that. That was almost 4. Let's bring Veramos instead of Crow. Okay, so here we have Veramos. Veramos has cleansing, enemies max HP damage, attack bar reduction, which should help. And he also has dots, but the dots don't matter. Boom. Oh, I should have showed you his build. His build, he actually has some pretty good runes on him. He can hit hard if he really wants to. Look at that. 10k skill 1. Boom. Boom. We're actually landing our stuff. 4k. So he didn't do too much of that one. Oh, the boss is going to kill itself if it ever gets a turn. It won't. Ooh. I really need to show you his runes. I promise you, his runes look immaculate. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned, I truly do believe, is like, I remember seeing the Violent build. I really think you want to build her on Despair. One thing that people overlook when building their teams is wave control, right? And you'll find that, oh, nice with the beneficial effects block. One thing that people overlook when building their teams is that the waves could be what's keeping you up, right? I mean, you're going to look at your team as like, hey, this team should have nuked the boss. Why is my run like a minute 30? And you're like, you're not realizing that the waves could be stalling you. You don't have any way to protect yourself against the waves. And if you had some decent wave control, we need to be placed in Disturb HP Recovery, which we're not. Lauren hasn't placed it yet. Oh my gosh. That's the one thing that's keeping us here. But, this is so annoying. Lauren! I know you have it up! Oh my god, and she missed. He resisted. But, instead of Veramos, I should have bought a Disturb HP Recovery. Whatever. You get the point. But it really shows you his Thunderbolt passive and really, like, how it saves him. But, if you can control the waves better, you'd find that your runs are faster. Like, for a lot of you, with your GB Abyss teams, your Giants Abyss teams, use Shannon. Build Shannon on Despair, and, like, Despair Fight if you had to. You would notice, like, your runs are much faster and much safer. Because she has amazing wave control, especially her 2A. But, come on, let's get some. We need some damage in this. Oh, man. I was just trying to have fun using units. There we go. We don't got to worry about the boss no more. This is also going to be super long because we just wasn't landing it. I don't get what's with Lauren. Like, Lauren has almost 100% accuracy and she just doesn't land crap. There we go. Jesus. To be fair, this run is definitely going to be slower because of Gina. Because it's like, you'll notice, like, my fastest team, I do not use Gina. I use Gina for this other thing that we're about to go into. But, let's not waste time. Let's hurry up and get to the next thing. Okay, so here we are in TOA 99. The reason I want to use her here specifically, I can't remember which floor it is, but it is so annoying because of the buffs or whatever, so I don't know. This might be it. But regardless, I think you'll get the point regardless of which floor we're doing it in. She actually is part of my TOA hard team. And we are sailing through TOA hard. It's so easy with her. Because it's just like, you look at this team specifically. This is a very old-fashioned team, but it is a very effective team. Where you get tons of AoEs. You could stun the enemy. I mean, other than Veramos, because I switched him on Rage. So he does more damage now. Let's look at that. Look at that puppy. You get Gina, which Gina is on Despair. I believe Zinc is on Despair. You get Mantura, who's on Violent. I don't know why I threw him on Violent. And you get Basalt, who's on Despair. So everyone has a chance to stun, pretty much. Everyone has AoEs. Most of these units have dots. But I think we could just go in and we could show this team a little bit. Which you're going to get to see him in action. Just tons of crowd control. That's what I think, like, if you ever are like, hey, how do I beat TOA hard? Crowd control. Tons of crowd control. Enemies kill themselves. Boom. That was nothing. And this is, again, there's so many AoEs here that it's like you're going to stun the enemies. And I'm still working my way through TOA hard because I've just been focusing on so many other things. I just haven't sat there through TOA hard. But I can show you like where I'm at on TOA hard in a second after this, I guess. But well, Veramos here. Veramos just cleansed that, and everyone's stunned. Everyone's crowd controlled. Boom. Tons of dots. Everyone's gonna kill themselves. And this is good. I mean, you think of like some of the units you struggle with. You think like the Dark Martial Cats. It's just like they're going to counterattack you a lot. If you place all these dots on them, they're done. You think about like the reviving units. You're going to crowd control them so much that they're not going to be able to revive nobody. And it's just like really great for clearing. So let's go to hard. So here we have this team. I haven't even beaten this stage yet. So heck, I'm going to throw them on auto. Is just let them do their thing. Boom. They have high resistance though, so don't matter. Because we have Basalt here to heal us. We could switch out Basalt, but whatever, right? We have so much crowd control, so much damage, so many dots, like, it really doesn't matter. Boom. Gosh, look at this. All these dots, they're not moving. It's a nice team. It's a nice team. And I think Gina definitely completes it. Beneficial effects blocks, tons of dots, sleeping. I mean, they're clearing like it's nobody's business. Nobody's business, dude. And you don't really have to worry too much about the reflect damage because everybody's not dealing tons of damage. It's in the buffs that they're placing. Except you got Veramos. Veramos is going to deal tons of damage because I built him that way. That and Zinc. Look at that. It's like they're all stunned. They're not going to move. So even if Veramos dies, it's like I'm not worried about it. Not at all. Especially with Gina and the dots. Ugh. We ain't gonna lose. This is easy, bro. It's you swipe the shoulder, it don't matter. You dust off the shoulder, you know what I mean? It's easy. It requires no work. That was all auto. You saw I didn't target nobody, and he's just like, I could sit there, I could find a different unit. Let's see, can we find a different unit? AoE dots, maybe a healer. I don't know. Continuous damage, AoE darks, AoE dark dots, whatever. You can throw in Linda, I guess. She doesn't she has dots on skill 1 though. She can bring stuns, I guess. Dark Cowgirl, I guess. You get my point, though. You get my point. Or I could just bring a healer, like immunity healing. But like you, I could bring Shushu, and it'd make things a lot safer. Or I could just turn Veramos back to support. But let's go to Gina. You get the point. I think Gina, like, the place she shines is definitely TOA, right? Bring her in Trial of Ascension. I think with her and with the other units I mentioned, I mean, Basalt is really there for, like, the AoEs. Like, he does AoE, decrease attack bar, despair stun probably, and then healing. I think he's good in that aspect, but you could always switch him out. Heck, you could replace Zinc with Gorgo. I think I was trying to mess with Gorgo. You're +9 there. Hold up. Oh yeah, he's on damage. Speed, crit damage, yeah. But regardless, I think Gina shines in Trial of Ascension. I don't think you should be using your Steel Fortress. I think you could use even like Igmanodon, Irogar, Lauren, Veramos, and Crow, and it's like you're clearing Steel Fortress way faster than I did. I think Gina, it's like, at this point in time, it's like maybe Steel Fortress, like before Abyss, she was like really, really good because you can affect the boss with dots. But like, her skill 2 is just like, while it is effective for it, you don't need it. Bring somebody else and use her in Trial of Ascension. I think she shines in Trial of Ascension. As you saw, we cleared. Like, that was not anything off my back. Not for a second I wasn't confident that they were going to beat it. I was super confident that they were going to beat it. And that's TOA hard. We're almost up to 100 on that thing, and it completely autoed. Right? I don't know. I think this unit is amazing. You should build her. Build her Despair. I'm telling you, build her Despair. But I don't know. You tell me what you think about her. Were there other places that I could use her? You tell me. But until then, until I see you guys in the comments, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.